Big doings in Columbus this morning. Big day for the Columbus, Ohio Zoo, where a new polar frontier exhibit is opening, and our pal Jack Hanna is out there. Look at this. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, dude.
It really is. This is absolutely my 40 years of this in this business, the conservation business. This is the most incredible habitat in the world, not just for the polar bears, but for what we call the brown bear. And by the way, the grizzly is the version of the brown bear about 100 miles inland. But this animal here, the mother was killed charging someone outside of Anchorage, and she had two cubs, so they came here, Brutus and Buckeye. Look at the size of that thing, 10 feet tall, Harry, when it stands up.
Let's go back now to Jack Hanna, because we can't get enough of the Columbus Zoo's brand new polar bear exhibit, one of the largest in the world. Good morning again, Jack.
Good morning.
Show us around. Show us where you are.
Well, right now, the only place in the world, look at this right here. A 500-pound polar bear 3 feet from the top of my head. People can walk in here and see the magnificent feet, the fur floating, the magnificence of this animal catching living trout, as you see here. I don't know how many polar bears can catch living trout like this. All above you everywhere in this room downstairs or upstairs, you can watch the bears. Remember something, the polar bear is an animal that goes 100 miles out on ice, as I said before. These animals are solitary when they have their babies. It's the ice that we're worried about, obviously. They eat the ring seals, and they literally are an animal that has to become almost a killing machine to survive out in these harsh climates.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that is what a habitat. I'm looking at the bears swimming around behind you. It's fantastic.
Can you believe this? I mean, I've been in here now 3 times last week when we first opened it, and I come here at night by myself, and I'm sitting there going, I just don't believe what I'm seeing. So many people heard about the polar bear, but you can never see one of these creatures. But maybe 1/10 of 1% of the people in the world will ever get to see this magnificent animal. Only 20,000 left right now. And of course, the fur is so thick, but also the blubber is about 4 to 5 inches thick. They can go 40 to 50 degrees below zero, and only the males are continuing to hunt during the winter. The females will go in their dens and have their babies.
Right. Look at that.
Look at this.
And these sweethearts, you said these sweethearts came from the Toledo Zoo, is that right?
Yeah, they came to the Toledo Zoo, and the big boar, which is the male, will come here. Hopefully next year we'll have baby polar bears, and that's going to be something to see as well.
Jack, turn around. Look at that. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Look at this. Can you imagine this?
Oh, man.
Now, they can go 100 feet down like this, and they can swim. Look at those sizes. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh, buddy, I hope that glass holds. Man,
for your sake, I hope that's right too. Oh my gosh, that is really one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Well, it really is. Like I said, my 40 years, I'm so excited. Like, I know the thousands of visitors at 10 o'clock this morning when we open this. We expect about 40,000 people the next day and a half, so you can imagine what this is going to mean to us.
I promise you're going to have people driving across the country this summer to come see this. You got some other bears you're going to show us? Oh, okay, here we go. We got the penguin.
People think the penguin is at the North Pole. Everyone, penguins are 5 out of 17 species are at the South Pole. Right. All right. This is a warm weather penguin, the jackass penguin. They don't live at the North Pole. That's where the polar bears live. So people really don't understand that. But this is Punky the penguin, and he's a neat creature. Again, more feathers for scrunch than any bird in the world, and they're black and white for camouflage. Just like the camouflage on this polar bear here. Here you go. Yeah. The polar bear has the white, obviously, because it's almost impossible to spot the polar bear out there, out there where he lives in the Arctic. Yeah. Also, we have the Arctic fox up here, which is like the hyena of Africa. The Arctic fox, we have beautiful white Arctic foxes up here for people to see as well, because they clean up the leftovers after the polar bear gets done.
Did you say that was a jackass penguin? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said jackass because it goes, like I told you, I wasn't ready last time. It goes, that's how they go. These are funny to listen to.
Very good. I just wanted to make sure. Now, what else you got to show us this morning?
All right, I got something else here to show you. This right here is a turtle. Now, the only reason I'm going to show you a turtle here, is this a tortoise or a turtle? Turtle. A turtle. This is a turtle. Now, why am I showing you a turtle? These are some of the animals people have been asking about, the oil spill and that type of thing.
Oh,
Thank goodness I don't think it's hit land yet, because these are the creatures here that eat things that the oil spill will affect. And so that's what's so tough about turtles like this that are down there. These right here, this is a bird that does fly into the Gulf sometimes. We can bring them over here real quickly. Over here, Susie. We're not. Hold on just a second here. I want to show you. These are our flamingos here, and these are creatures here that have never really seen a polar bear. But these flamingos are just now turning. These flamingos are now just turning pink, because flamingos are hatched gray and black. People don't know that. They have to eat little shrimps and little plankton to turn pink. But these animals, they must have just seen the polar bear. That was pretty smart.
I'd be running too if I were them. Wow, Jack.
But those animals definitely affected.
Yeah, by the oil spill.
By the oil spill, yep.
coolest picture we have had on television in years. Being able to see these polar bears just that close up, swimming around behind you, absolutely awesome. Great to see you, pal.
Nice to see y'all. Thanks for coming here. We're so excited. Thank you.
Man, it's that cool.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.